Then the antibody will bind to the protein and turn on the so-called complement system. And this complement system is the sister system of the clotting system.
The honor today of being here with Dr. Sucharit Bhakdi at the Better Way Media Conference, where he spoke today, his first time internationally. Dr. Bhakdi, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome. I came to this conference, which is a first, because I felt the need to do so, since things are developing along such alarming lines by the WHO, CDC, FDA, all the authorities are now pushing for gene-based vaccines to replace all other vaccines which are currently in circulation in the world. Measles, mumps, rubella, you name it, you have it. Flu. And when we heard this, we said, oh my God, that's what we've been fearing since June, when I voiced my first concern that this is probably coming. What is being done now is that the corona vaccine is gradually coming into disfavor because people are seeing that there are serious adverse events. So what is now being done is attention is being drawn away from the vaccines themselves being the culprit to the spike protein. And they say, oh, it's because the corona vaccine encodes the spike and the spike is dangerous and blah, blah, blah. Now, that this spike protein is dangerous, no question, it's correct. But don't get off the track, people. You must realize that every gene-based vaccine is going to be dangerous. That's why I'm here, and that's why I explained this morning, for the first time, by the way. And it's all based on the fact, this is a fact, that can be, you can read about this in the textbooks of immunology, you see. Our immune system, our specific immune system, relies in the main on lymphocytes, of which we have T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, T and B. And all lymphocytes look similar, but they are different. And the T lymphocytes have receptors which are like locks. And these receptors recognize the keys. The keys are the debris, are the fragments of a protein that is created by a cell. Now, I'm a cell, and I create something that is sticking out here. Then the fragments of this protein, like sawdust, appears on my shirt. What happens then is that the T lymphocyte recognizes these fragments, attaches to the fragments, and kills me, the cell. Now this happens also to proteins that I create myself, which I call self-protein. The thing is, though, that when the immune system switch is turned on in life, these killer lymphocytes that would kill me are silenced, so they don't work. They're put away. But at the same time as they came into existence in the body of the baby, lymphocytes were also born and created that had locks that recognized the keys of all non-self proteins. Measles, mumps, rubella. This is something that should be taught in school because it's so important to know that every baby is born with the lymphocytes, with the killer lymphocytes that are ready to kill a cell that is building, making foreign proteins, that is making non-self. Now, the genes that are being injected into your body if you get vaccinated are packaged such that they go into the muscle, and from the muscle they find their way to the lymph nodes and then to the blood. They cannot be stopped. So they always enter the blood. Many of them enter the blood, a large portion. And there are billions. There are so many. and they are circulating in the bloodstream. And these packages have the property that they are taken up by any cell that you want, if it contacts them. So the cells that these packages will always contact are the cells that line the vessels of your arteries and veins and capillaries. Okay? These vessels, large and small, but the longest contact, the most intimate contact, will be with the smallest vessels and the capillaries. And that's where the seeds for self-attack are planted, because when those cells start making not only spike, but anything you want, non-self, the killer lymphocytes are going to get up and destroy them. And then they turn on the B cells at the same time. The B cells start to make antibodies against that spike or measles virus or whatever. And those antibodies are going to circulate in the blood. A few days after the first jab, 10 days, want to be there. Now, what people don't realize is that these antibodies that are created because of the vaccination are not there to intercept the entry of the virus, because the virus doesn't come into the blood. It comes through the front door of the hotel, and the antibodies are simply not there. They are not there. That's why all these vaccinations against corona and also, by the way, influenza, flu, cannot work. Could never have worked, will never work. The only thing they can do is they can kill you. Why?
This is a vessel, all right? One is the intact vessel wall. The vaccine comes in the bloodstream, enters the vessel wall cell. In number 3, the wall starts to make the protein. The protein is presented on the surface of the cell, and the fragments are 2, 4, and 5. 4 is the protein, 5 are the fragments. So the antibodies, after the first vaccination, everyone gets his antibodies. So when you do the booster, right? It's incredible. How can you do this? Yeah. Then you produce that thing into a bomb, which is the bloodstream, where the antibodies are just waiting with the complement system. They will attack them. Then the T lymphocytes also join in. So the vessel wall is damaged. When the vessel wall is damaged, 2 things happen. First, the blood will clot, because that's why the blood is, the clotting system is there. And second, those vaccines are going to leak through into the organs. Now, you know, your vessel system is the wonder of nature, of God. It's closed. Even viruses can't get past that. And now these guys, Pfizer, Moderna, are ripping open the vessel system was created by nature, allowing foreign genes to enter the tissues, the brain, the heart, the liver, the lung, anything you want. And they start making the same, they go through the same process. And this, of course, starts off another self-attack, auto-attack, autoimmune process that cannot be stopped, will never be able to be stopped.
The moment the cells of the wall, vessel wall, start making the alien protein, at the first booster, already at the first booster, you will have the killer lymphocytes attacking, plus the antibodies that are swimming around, not being able to intercept the virus at the front door, but very able to recognize the antigen, the spike, or measles protein non-self that has been created and is sticking out of the wall. So you have a dual attack by the 2 major armies of the immune system. This combined attack by both T lymphocytes and antibody is unprecedented. It's not known. It doesn't exist now. We're witnessing what happens, and it's so horrible, because when the bodies, if I'm again a cell of the vessel wall, and I start making this protein, Then the antibody will bind to the protein and turn on the so-called complement system. And this complement system is the sister system of the clotting system.
The honor today of being here with Dr. Sucharit Bhakdi at the Better Way Media Conference, where he spoke today, his first time internationally.